night. Jamaica recorded 213 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, pushing the total number of confirmed cases across the island to 17,298, while the death toll remains at 358. Westmoreland Western Member of Parliament Morland Wilson is calling on the relevant authorities to replace the defective medians that have resulted in accidents in the parish.
Time they have fallen to disrepair, and disrepair has led to many accidents. In the past 3 weeks, we have one unfortunate death as a result of the median.
Principal of the Hopewell High School was summoned to court due to alleged illegal construction being carried out at the institution.
We received some intelligence at the Hanover Municipal Corporation sometime late last week that there were buildings that were being constructed illegally at the school. As such, we checked with our planning department, and what we found was that indeed there was no such plans.
And National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says targeted investments in education and the nation's youth can potentially curtail crime and violence in Jamaica over the long term.
Investment in the school is one of the most important, in fact, it's the most important element in long-term solution to our crime problem.
Good evening. Jamaica recorded 213 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, pushing the total number of confirmed cases across the island to 17,298. The death toll remains at 358. Of the 213 new cases, there were 96 males and 117 females with ages ranging from 7 months to 76 years old. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew with 70, St. Catherine 34, St. James 24, Manchester 23, St. Elizabeth 18, Clarendon 11 cases, Trelawney 10, St. Anne 9 cases, Portland 4, Westmoreland and Hanover 3 cases each, St. Thomas and St. Mary 2 cases each. The country also recorded 47 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 12,318 with 4,435 active cases. Tributes have poured in for former President of the Court of Appeal, the Honorable Justice Paul Theodore Harrison, OJ, who died yesterday. Among them are the Judiciary of Jamaica, the Opposition People's National Party, PNP, and the Governor General, who are mourning his passing. Chief Justice Brian Sykes said Justice Harrison's skills as a trial judge, his judgecraft, and court management were unmatched. The judiciary says it extends sincere condolences to Justice Paul Harrison's family, his wife Doreen, his son Dirk, and his daughter Paulette, and pray that they will be given the strength to bear their loss. They are asking that his family and friends find comfort in knowing that his was a life well lived. People's National Party Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on justice and gender affairs, said that Justice Harrison was a distinguished son of the soil who has made a significant contribution to jurisprudence in Jamaica and in the region. And leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, who knew Justice Harrison personally, says he's also saddened at his passing and remembers him as a man of great honor and a fine judicial intellect. After he retired as a president of the Court of Appeal in Jamaica, Justice Harrison was said to be eagerly sought after elsewhere in the region, and for the last 8 years has presided with distinction over the ongoing trial of former Turks and Caicos Premier Michael Missick and others. Meanwhile, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has expressed shock and sadness at the sudden passing of Justice Harrison. In a statement this afternoon, Sir Patrick described Justice Harrison as, quote, a dignified, quiet, tireless, dedicated, and hard-working judge who made an invaluable contribution to the legal system in Jamaica. Fairness, balance, and the rule of law were his guiding legal principles. End quote. In other news, Westmoreland Western Member of Parliament Morland Wilson is calling on the relevant authorities to replace the tires that are used as a median to a more effective and permanent structure that will reduce the likelihood of accident. This comes on the heels of a reported accident that left at least one pedestrian dead.
There are some medians which were originally designed as traffic calmers, or to basically slow down the speed of traffic on the boulevard, the Norman Manley Boulevard. But over time they have fallen into disrepair. And this repair has led to many accidents. In fact, since I've become MP in September, we have about 15 accidents that I can recall anecdotally, which took place on the boulevard as a result of these accidents. In the past 3 weeks, we have one unfortunate death as a result of the median. I think it's a situation where, when they were originally designed, they were very effective. You know, drivers could have seen them, pedestrians, road users could have seen them. But as time goes on, vehicles would have crashed into them, weathering caused some discoloration, and the signs are basically gone. So they are very difficult to see in the nights when you're driving. In fact, sometimes it's even difficult to see them in the day. And for persons, visitors who are not familiar with the area, they would not have known that these street traffic calmers, speed calmers are in the road, so they result in accidents. In January, we had 3 accidents as a result, direct result of the median, and we have 1 death. In December, I got reports of 4 accidents as a result of the median. And when I say as a result, vehicle literally just drive up on the median, and some turn over, some lost control and hit walls and hit other cars, hit pedestrians. So it's very bad.
Mr. Wilson further added that following meetings with residents and business operators in his constituency, they are very concerned and are asking for a better solution to the current medians used.
I've had several meetings, I've gotten the phone calls. The residents are pretty upset, the hoteliers are upset because of the number of damages that has been caused to cars and the loss of lives. So we are taking steps currently with National Work Agency to have these issues being addressed.
And this means removing them?
Well, one consideration is to totally remove these medians. Another suggestion or recommendation is to just basically rehabilitate them and put in more signs. But if we are going to go that route, they have to be maintained, and history has taught us that maintenance of these medians are not very effective. So there's also considerations about putting other type of street speed calmers, such as some strips that could possibly ease the flow of traffic on the boulevard. To date, we haven't really signed off, but there is a big push for removal of these medians.
The Westmoreland Western MP further pointed out his recommendations that he believes could and will bring about a solution and save lives.
Well, the issue is still there in terms of speeding. What I think we have to do is go back to the drawing board about the overall development plan for Negril. Negril has grown tremendously and significantly over the past 20 years. And what you find is that the boulevard itself is more of a pedestrian orientated venue than something main thoroughfare, we put it, to just for people to just transit. So we should really look at the overall development plan for Negril as a long-term solution to this. But at the moment, for a more short-term, we're thinking that we could put in speed bumps or speed strips so we could reduce the speed on the boulevard and take out the median totally. What we have to do is really look at the solution, whether we put in rumble strips or speed bumps, and we put in quite a few of them so persons who are driving are quite will be aware that this is not a speeding zone. We could also look at other strategies that NWA have used in the past, such as speed signs, and have multiple speed signs along the boulevard to ease the traffic, ease the speed of traffic. But what we have now, we need to take action. I've gotten letters. In fact, I've been in discussion with the Nigel Chamber of Commerce, who is quite up in arms about this as well. And I've gotten the frustrated phone calls from property owners and from residents of Negril. So we have to take action, and I'm working with NWA so we can provide a solution.
One motorcyclist is dead while another is in hospital following a double motorcycle crash on the Bog Main Road in Westmoreland yesterday. Dead is 26-year-old Arnold Cornaldi, a farmer of New Works in Westmoreland. Reports are that at about 12:50 a.m., Cornaldi was driving his Champion motorcycle along the roadway towards New Works in the parish. On reaching a section of the road, he reportedly collided with another motorcycle. The police were summoned and both drivers were taken to the hospital, where Cornaldi was pronounced dead and the other driver admitted in critical condition. Meanwhile, 60-year-old Dexton Brown, a security guard of Crofts Hill District, Clarendon, was killed in a vehicular crash in his community yesterday. Reports are that at about 2:30 p.m., Brown was driving his Toyota Corolla motor car along the Crofts Hill Main Road. He was reportedly negotiating a corner when he crashed into another motor car that was parked on the roadway. He reportedly lost control of the motor car, which overturned. Brown and his two passengers, a man and a woman, were injured. They were taken to hospital where Brown died. The man and the woman were treated, and the investigation continues. A woman's body was found with her head partially severed down a precipice in Lydarth District, Portland, on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as 30-year-old Kerryon Hunter, alias Caribou or Chubby of Guinnep Lane Tree, Port Antonio in the parish, or that is Guinnep Tree Lane of Port Antonio in the parish. And reports are that at about 9:30 a.m., a passerby saw the body of a woman who was later identified as that of Hunter down a precipice and summoned the police. The body was taken to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Detectives in Portland have since launched an investigation into the death, which is the second killing on record for the parish for this year. Last year, the parish recorded the lowest number of killings among geographical police divisions across the country, with 10 murders. Detectives assigned to the Falmouth CIB department on Saturday laid criminal charges against the three men who were taken into custody in Falmouth, Trelawney last week in connection with the murder of 51-year-old Andrea Lowe Garwood, a bank credit card manager of Stonebrook, also in Trelawney. The accused are 23-year-old Leon Hines, a storekeeper who has been charged with murder, illegal possession of firearm, accessory before the fact, accessory after the fact, and conspiracy to murder. Also charged is 29-year-old Javan Garwood, otherwise called Janoy Williams, or Janoy I should mean, who has been charged with murder and conspiracy to murder, and Dwight Bingham, who has been charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm. All three accused are from Rose Heights community in St. James. And reports are that at about 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, January 31, Lowe Garwood was involved in a worship session at the Agape Christian Fellowship Church along Market Street in Falmouth when Bingham allegedly walked in and shot her multiple times. The Kingston Eastern Police have now laid charges against 30-year-old Dewton Morris, otherwise called Mello, a mason of East Albion, Yallas in St. Thomas, for murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in connection with a shooting incident in Bull Bay, St. Andrew on Thursday, September 4, 2020. Reports are that about 2:23 a.m. on that day, Natalisha Earl, a 37-year-old shopkeeper of Taylorland, 9 miles Bull Bay in St. Andrew, was at home when the accused and other men armed with guns, reportedly fired several shots at her house and then forced their way inside and shot her several times. The police who were called to the scene transported her to the hospital where she died while undergoing treatment. Following an intelligence-led operation, the accused was arrested in Knightsville, St. Thomas on Saturday, February 6, and charged after an interview in the presence of his attorney. His court date is not yet finalized. The police say his accomplices remain on the run. Investigations are ongoing. In other news, the principal of the Hopewell High School was today summoned to appear in court come next month after he was served due to construction being carried out at the school without the alleged building plan or permits from the Hanover Municipal Corporation. Compliance and Enforcement Manager at the corporation, Craig Oates, in speaking with our news team earlier today while at the school, explained what transpired on their visit to the school last week when a stop order was issued to the principal.
We received some intelligence at the Hanover Municipal Corporation probably about sometime late last week that there were buildings that were being constructed illegally at the school. As such, we checked with our planning department, and what we found was that indeed there was no such plans. So on Wednesday last, we came up here and we did our own due diligence. When we came, we were locked out of the school. We were probably outside for probably about an hour and a half because the security at the front said to us that the principal is in a meeting and said that we would have to make an appointment to see him. We explained to the principal that, to the security, to explain to the principal that we are a government-run entity and we are here out of reasons for safety and concerns for both staff and contractors and otherwise. We were still not allowed. It wasn't until after I made call to hierarchy at the regional office in Montego Bay that and the police came that we were allowed. When I went over there, we were very surprised. Surprised to find that there was building that was being built, and these buildings were being built without the knowledge or approval of neither the Ministry of Education or the Hanover Municipal Corporation.
Mr. Oates also explained some of the breaches that he and his team found at the school.
Schools, that have children in and out is being built without the required safety mechanism. Of such, I spoke to the principal and he told me that there wasn't any drawing. The next day, which was Thursday, I met at the school with the regional building officers from the Ministry of Education. And when we went there, we did a tour of the premises along with the principal. And the representative from the local Ministry of Education informed us that there was indeed no approved plan. We found some buildings, in particular the main entrance to the school that had no plan. There was another room that was being built on the school, on the mother part of the school, the main building. The principal said that it was some isolation area. There was no drawing, nothing submitted to the parish council. There was a big classroom being constructed on top of a building over there. And we were very concerned because we had expressed to the principal and the building officers because we didn't see the necessary safety precautions that were taking place. From where we could look and see, there was even a light wire, a connecting light wire that was just above the wall of the top of the school. And we pointed that out to the principal. Plus, that big classroom that was being built would have been, some level of assessment would have to be done.
He further pointed out what resulted in the 3 summons being served to the principal today.
To make matters worse, that is really frightening to me and scary, is that even after we came here and we submitted a stop order to the principal, we came here 3 days straight and submitted a stop order on Friday. I got reports from concerned persons at the school that the work was still being carried out. I came up here incognito, and from the vantage point where I could see, I saw workmen working. I called the principal. I said, "Why is it that you're building still and you still got a notice that you shouldn't, a cease and desist notice?" He said that he was just trying to block out a hole because he didn't want any animal or anybody go. But I said, but you got a notice. You could have probably used a sheet of ply or something else to secure it. But I'm very concerned. I'm concerned that work is being carried out without the approval of the Ministry of Education. The next step for the school is that the principal has been served 3 summons to appear in the Lucy Resident Magistrate Court in March. And of such, we will also be writing a report to our CEO as also to the Ministry of Education. But to be honest, I'm very concerned. And I think something like this really need the Contractor General to really come and pay some attention to. And as a result of that, we will be checking, other schools and other public buildings to see if there's indeed work being done. And I'm saying to principals, to managers of public institutions, here, your buildings are like places that are being used by the public. It's for general public use. So please ensure that you get the required approval for whatever it is that you're going to be doing.
And we will bring you more details on this story in subsequent newscasts. Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Narcotics Division seized more than $6 million worth of compressed ganja in Wilshire Anchovy District in St. James on the weekend. Reports are that about 4:15 p.m. on Friday, a team of officers were on an anti-narcotics operation in the area. An unoccupied apartment was searched and 34 white knitted bags of compressed ganja was found. The estimated weight of the illicit drug is over 1,600 pounds with a value of 6.4 million Jamaican dollars. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. The narcotics police are appealing to anyone with information that can assist in this investigation to contact them at 876-923-5729, Police 119 emergency number, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. And those are some of the stories making news. We will return with more stories, but first, we will now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.